What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, guys, I'm going to be talking about Manchester United's last game that we went and played Lask in the Europa League round of 16, second leg, guys. Anyway, guys, let's just get straight into today's video. So we made two changes from the last game against Lask in the first leg. Talk about the starting 11. So we started with Romero, Fosu-Mensah, Bailey, Maguire, Williams, McTominay, Fred, Mata, Lingard, James and Igalo. Getting into the overall reaction now, JLingz is back. Well done, boys, we just got away with it. Not the best performance, but I'll take that any day of the week. We will have to step it up next week. Still unbeaten, win done, through to the quarterfinals. We were pretty much already through to the quarterfinals since we beat Lask in the first leg, which was pretty much played about 3 months ago or something like that. Anyway, guys, let's just get straight to today's video. What did I make of the performance? Now, actually, guys, if you didn't realise, I did not have an Instagram story last night when I watched the game. That was down to because I did not watch the game, actually. Unfortunately, could not watch the game last night. I wish I could have, but I didn't want to watch it because I played golf and I didn't want to get myself tired. But at the end of the day, guys, you've got to look at it. You know, the first leg was already done and dusted with. There was no point of watching the second leg. It was just all about, you know, get the job done in the second leg and let's, you know, progress on to the into the competition. But I'm going to be judging this game due to the highlights of what I watched. So I think, you know, I think overall, I think it was I think this word just popped up firstly. I think this word just came to my head right away. I think it was a weird performance from start to finish. I felt like it was a weird performance because, you know what, in the first half we sort of started off well, then we sort of let Lask into the game, and then we looked better towards the end of the half, and then we did the same thing in the second half. We started really well in the second half, we sort of let them back in the game, and then we got better towards the end of the half. So it was a weird performance. I think, you know, it wasn't a brilliant game of football. I mean, we didn't really perform for a full 90 minutes of a game. We didn't really perform for the full 90 minutes. It wasn't a great performance. And I will hold my hands up and say, yeah, it wasn't a great performance, even though I watched the highlights myself. But you know what? The performance was a weird performance for me. That was just the first word that came to my head. Weird performance. But it might have been a poor performance. But the reason why it might have been a poor performance was because, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he wanted to change the team up. You know what? Fans were actually pissed off with the lineup that he put out because he put out a strong team. You know what? We put out that team, we went 1-0 down. So, you know what? You got to say, you know, we got away with it against Lask. Lask, you know, they knew that the tie was already finished. They were not going to get back into it. And you know what? I was thinking, I bet we're going to concede a goal as well. What do? We conceded a goal, but I didn't know that we conceded the first goal first. But you know what? I think performance in a whole, it was a good performance. I mean, it wasn't a top class performance. We didn't really perform for the full 90 minutes. But you've got to look at the game. As a perspective. You know, it wasn't a great performance. It was very poor. But that's because of, you know, Ole changed the team about. We knew that Ole wasn't going to be playing his best players. He sat out the likes of Bruno, Rashford, Pogba, Greenwood. He sat all them out because he wanted to, you know, let them play next week. So he went and played out the guys that have not really had much game time since, you know, Project Restart, the likes of Dan James, Mata, Lingard, Igalo, and all them lot played. And I think the reason why we looked so poor was because they've not played together in a long time, and the last time they played all together was against Norwich, and that was about a month ago. So it goes to show how long ago you played together. And, you know, you can't really put on a good performance because you've not played together in ages. And because obviously, you know, our players had a bit of time off. They went away, they went abroad, they come back, they went training, and then we were back into the game. But you know what? I think the way how we had to set up into this game, the way how we had to go and beat Lask as well. I mean, we did it brilliantly. Fair play to United. Yes, we got away with it. yes, it wasn't a brilliant performance, but I think getting into the half now, I think the first couple of minutes, I'd say the first 5 minutes of the half, we look really well. We look really good. Quick, bright start to the half. Got on the front foot. Pressed them back early on into the half. Tried to make a few chances earlier into the half, but then as the half was getting on and as the half was progressing, what we did was we invited Lask back on to we let Lask back into the game, which then allowed them to get on the front foot. They had us on the back foot. We had to defend. We had to be a unit. We stayed organised. We had men behind the ball. We did all those things really well. We kept our shape. We did all that good work. We defended as a unit, but we just let Lask back into the game, and we just didn't look like that. We were going to score in that first half, and we didn't at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, first half wasn't great. You got to look at that first half and say, no, it wasn't good. And then sort of towards the end of the half again, the first half, we switched it back on. So what we're doing is we start in the half well, then we're letting the opposition onto us, which makes us defend, and then we think, oh yeah, we need to get a goal. Let's get back on top, and let's go and try and hunt for a goal. So, and when you sort of find your momentum and your rhythm towards the end of the half, you don't want the half to end. So you're thinking, we've run out of minutes. We should have done this. We should have done all of this pretty much throughout the whole half, and we didn't perform for a full 90 minutes. We didn't perform well for the full 90 minutes. We weren't great. And then we did the exact same thing in the second half. You would think in the second half, right, let's go out there, make a few substitutions. We're going through the motions a little bit. Let's go and make a few substitutions, and let's at least go on and winning this game. But the same thing happened again. We come out in the second half. We play quick, bright, play with lots of energy, intent in our play, high intensity, high tempo. We did all that good stuff really well early and into the half. But then again, we just let Lask back into the game. We let them get on the front foot. They got us on the back foot, and you know what? I mean, the lead up to their goal, you could see it was happening. The way how they were playing, the way how they pushed us back, the way how they really the way how they were a threat on the counter attack, the way how how they really set it up, and the way how they wanted to actually score the goal as well. It was a brilliant goal by Lask, but that goal was easily avoidable against Lask because it was very shit defending by Fosu Mensah. I mean, when you're on a corner, I mean, you try your best to clear it as far as you can, but he headed it. It's a weak header. It gets to the last player, and he curves it up at Benjamin's, and it's a goal. Now, obviously, Romero got way beaten. He couldn't do anything about it, Romero. But at the end of the day, the way how we let that goal in, and I mean to concede on a stupid set piece again. I mean, we haven't obviously conceded on set plays in a long time, but we keep doing it then, and it's going to come back and haunt us. And the more we keep doing that, it's going to haunt us. So we need to stop these stupid letting in these stupid goals by set plays. Do not do that against Copenhagen, because I think the game against Copenhagen, it could go down to set plays, and we've got to be aware, and that's a fact, and that's why we've got to play Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the next game against Copenhagen, because Wan-Bissaka can do a job as a right back. Fosu Mensah is not there yet. If Fosu Mensah gets the right coaching by the right coaching staff, obviously by Ollie and his backroom staff, but if he gets coached well, he can be a better right back. So far, he's miles off of being a good right back so far. So what it is now, bring all of our best players back into the Copenhagen game. Let's restart and let's go for it. And this is ours. The Europa League is ours. And Ollie wants some silverware. Our players deserve some silverware now. Go out with that shirt on, play with fight, passion, pride, play with character, do it for the club, do it for the badge. Go out there and get that game done and dusted with against Copenhagen. Second half, similar, very similar. Didn't look like we were. I think the word to put it in a hole was uninspiring, and we were not good enough. But you know what? At the end of the day, look at the bright side. We won the game. We're through to the quarterfinals, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. But the performance, can't really perform for the full 90 minutes. But we're going to have to take that on the chin. Let's learn from that, and let's progress that now into the next games coming up thick and fast. Obviously, we've got Copenhagen now Monday night, so we're going to have to be switched on. That's 2 goals now for JLingz in the space of 10 days. Obviously, we had a break in between from our last game against Leicester City. Is the real JLingz back? I hope he is, because obviously JLingz has been a player that's been taking a lot of criticism the last 2 years. He's not been the best player where we wanted JLingz to be. He's showing signs now that he can be that player again. We want to see the real JLingz back. Obviously, he's been linked with moves away to Manchester United. People are saying that could have been his last goal for Manchester United. That could have been his last start as a Manchester United player. For JLingz, it's been a rough 2 years. It's not gone the way how he wanted to go. He's had to do things that he's never done before in his personal life, and he's had to go through that as well himself. It's been a rough 2 years. Obviously, everyone's been giving him criticism, but is the real JLingz back? I hope he is, because he scored against Leicester, scored against Lask, showing signs that he's getting back to where he belongs on the pitch, on and off the pitch. He's got to work hard for it now. He's got to work hard to get a place back as well, and it's not easy when you're competing for places, when you've got the likes of Greenwood in the team, Rashford, Martial, Bruno, Pogba, Matic, all these great players. So it's hard to battle for a place when these players are in form. And to get the real JLingz back, he's going to have to put out some real good performances. I hope he's back. 2 goals in the space of 10 days, obviously with a break in between that as well. JLingz is looking like he's back to where he needs to be now. I hope he's sorted out his issues. Hopefully now he can kick on and look forward. It's obviously his decision whether if he leaves or stays. We're going to have to back him. Let's see what happens, and let's see what the future holds for JLingz. You never know at the end of the day. So let's see. I hope he's back. He's back on the score sheet now, and he's showing signs that the real JLingz is back at the end of the day. With United's run into the finals, we now face Copenhagen in the quarter-finals. If we win that on Monday night, we are 1 step closer to the finals. Does United have a chance of winning the Europa League? Of course we do. What it is with these games, like with Copenhagen, I think it's all about take it 1 game at a time. We don't want to look too far ahead of us. We know that whoever wins out of Wolves and Olympiacos, that's currently 1-1 in the first leg. And whatever happens against Sevilla and Roma, currently playing right now, Sevilla are winning that game, I think 2-0, 3-0 right now. So it looks like Sevilla could be going through, and the winner out of Wolves and Olympiacos, they'll face each other, and whoever wins that game, we will face them in the semi-finals. That's if we beat Copenhagen. But what it's all about now is take it 1 game at a time. Copenhagen's on Monday night. Let's look forward to Copenhagen on Monday. Let's get them out of the way first. We know that Copenhagen will want to win. They're going to train to win. So we're going to have to go to Germany, try and beat them. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about take it 1 game at a time. We're in the quarterfinals now. We've only got 1 leg to do this now. There's no 2 legs now. So whether if we lose the game, we're out the competition. At the end of the day, we've got to do it in 1 go. Ollie's going to have to train the players to really finish off Copenhagen in 1 game. I don't think it's that we're under pressure. I think it's the fact that we've just got to prepare our players now for that 1 game against Copenhagen. We know what Copenhagen can do, so we're just going to have to really train hard, do them over in 1 game really, because there's no second leg. We're not going to Old Trafford, we're not going to Denmark. This is at a neutral ground in Germany. In a 1-legger, we've got to get them done and out in 1 leg. If we can do Lask in one leg, we can do Copenhagen in one leg. Take it one step at a time. Copenhagen on Monday night in the quarterfinals. Let's look forward to that first. Get ourselves into the semi-finals, and we'll be one step closer to the final, and we will probably face anyone at the end of the day. I'm looking forward to see what happens on Monday night. Looking forward to the game against Copenhagen. Who is my man of the match? You know what, I'm going to give this to... There's some good players out there. I think there was the likes of Mata. He played really well. Lingard played well. I think I'm going to have to give it Lingard. Played well, got a goal, deserved as well, so he's trying to get himself back into the team now. I'm going to give my man of the match to Lingard. How do we beat Copenhagen in the quarter-final? Now that we've got Copenhagen now in the quarter-final, we're going to have to really train for this game to do it in one leg. Like I just said then, if we can put Lask to bed in one leg, we can do Copenhagen in one leg at the end of the day. You know what, I've written down a couple of things what Copenhagen are really good at. I think the player that we really need to look out for is that Jonas Wind. He's a very good striker, scored one header and one penalty the other night. He's the player to look out for. That's for the centre-backs to do a job on him, so we're going to have to really pocket him. Copenhagen are really good. They play some exciting football. They're quick. They play with quick, incisive football. They're very aggressive. They get on the front foot. They're very ruthless as well. This is going to be a good physical battle with Copenhagen because their manager's going to train his players to beat United in one leg, and we're going to have to train our players to beat Copenhagen in one leg. This is all about now mentality now. Let's prepare well for this game, not only just mentally, but physically as well. We know this is going to be a physical showdown against Copenhagen, but at the end of the day, Copenhagen play in the Danish league. We don't know how the Danish league goes at the end of the day. We don't know if it's quick, incisive football. We don't know if it's slow-paced, but at the end of the day, they look a decent team, Copenhagen. Well set out team. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he knows the manager. He knows some of the players as well at the club. So he's probably going to know a few players where we can go and expose those weaknesses in that team. And they play some very good football, and I'm looking forward to this game. I think with teams that can play really well, I think it's all about you've got to have that quick and bright start to the game. Ollie's got to throw out his best team. He's going to have to put Romero, Wan-Bissaka, Bailey, Maguire, Lindelof even, Williams, Matic, Pogba, Bruno, Greenwood, Rashford and Martial. So he's going to have to really put out his best team against Copenhagen. It's all about have that quick and bright start to that game. It's always important. Have that quick and bright start to the game. It can change anything. If we can get the first goal, that changes the whole dynamic in the game, because Copenhagen then need to go and chase down the game. They're the ones that have to go and get a goal. So if we can get the first goal, get in front, and then if we sort of nick a second goal just before half time, they've got a big mountain to climb, and it's big work then for them to go and chase the game down in the second half. What do we do in the second half? Get a third goal, kill the game off. How do you do that? Quick and bright start, quick incisive football, hit them on the break, play with high intensity, high tempo. The transition from defence to attack needs to be quick, play with a lot of fluidity, play with a lot of urgency in our play, be very aggressive, be ruthless, take risks, learn our crosses into the box, and we know we can beat Copenhagen at the end of the day. They're a good side, well set out. We are just got to have to train ourselves to beat Copenhagen in one leg at a neutral ground in Germany. Looking forward to the game. I have the trust and I can believe that Manchester United will do the job against Copenhagen on Monday night at the end of the day. Getting into the goals now. First goal, Williams passed it to Igalo. Igalo loses possession. The last player loses possession. Mata won the ball back, passed it to Lingard. Lingard runs and scores a nice and composed finish for 1-1. Second goal, Mengi passed the ball to Mata. Mata passed it to Martial. Martial passed it back to Mata. Mata passed it back to Martial. Martial beats the defender and shoots and gets deflected off the goalkeeper for 2-1. Getting into the stats now. Possession for Manchester United, it was 63.5%, and for Lask it was 36.5%. Goals for Man United, it was 2, and for Lask it was 1. Total shots for Man United, it was 9, and for Lask it was 12. Shots on target for Man United, it was 3, and for Lask it was 4. Shot accuracy for Man United, it was 33.3%. For Lask, it was 33.3% as well. Shots inside the box for Man United, it was 8, and for Lask it was 5. Shots outside the box for Man United, it was 1, and for Lask it was 7. Going for the screamer. Total passes for Man United, it was 567 passes, and for Lask it was 325 passes. The pass accuracy for Man United, it was 79.5%, and for Lask it was 66.2%. Getting to the substitutions, Lingard went off for Pogba. Talk about Lingard's performance. Offered some elegant and probing flicks and claimed his second goal in as many games to equalise before coming off. Fred went off for Pereira. Talk about Fred's performance. Fared better than McTominay on a night that reaffirmed his bench status. Now Paul Pogba is available, unlucky to come off. Williams went off for Chong. Talk about Brandon's performance. Strangely cowed in the final third on a night where the pressure was off. Jones went off for Martial. Talk about Dan's performance. So one-dimensional. He was switched to the opposite flank before the interval. Just terribly out of form. Give the guy time, you know. It's his first season in the Premier League. Coming from the Championship, it's going to be a big season for James for next season at the end of the day. Give the lad time. Jesus, he's coming from the Championship at the end of the day. Fosu Mensah went off for Mengi. Talk about Fosu Mensah's performance. Solid defensively, but his decision making was amateurish in the final third whenever he got forward. Next up, we've got Copenhagen. Copenhagen actually finished second in the Danish Super League. Copenhagen, they're going to train their players to win this game in one leg. We're going to have to train our players to beat Copenhagen in one leg as well. It's at a neutral ground in Germany. Looking forward to the game. Ollie knows the manager really well. He's going to know some players, so at least Ollie can analyse and also he can really go and expose the weaknesses in the team, which they don't really like to do at the end of the day. This will be the third meeting between Man United and Copenhagen. This is just all about now, let's prepare ourselves well, not only just physically but mentally as well. It's a mindset thing as well. Get the mentality there, prepare well, mentally, physically, and just train ourselves to beat Copenhagen in one leg. If we can train ourselves to beat Lask in one leg, we can go and beat Copenhagen in one leg at a neutral ground at the end of the day. The last time Man United beat Copenhagen was on Tuesday the 17th of October 2006 and it ended 3-0 to the Reds. That was in the UEFA Champions League. The last time we lost to Copenhagen was on Wednesday the 1st of November 2006 and it ended 1-0 to Copenhagen. That was also in the UEFA Champions League, and we now face Copenhagen in the UEFA Europa League. If Ollie picks the right team, puts the players in the right positions, if he balances the team out right, the structure in the team needs to be right, we need the depth in the team and select the right formation for the game, and I believe Manchester United will progress into the semi-finals, get the right team selection, and we will just have to go out there, be aggressive, be ruthless, take risks, and we should beat Copenhagen. Looking forward to the game. Hope you guys are enjoying another video. Please leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you are new. See you guys in a video in the next couple of days, and peace.